The little fox discovered its master had been fed poisoned wine by the scheming woman. It immediately pounced and bit the scheming woman, but unfortunately it had been injured crossing tribulation before and lacked loud strength. After hitting the ground, it vomited blood and died. Then the scheming woman threw both the fox and woman into the mass grave. The next second, the fox suddenly resurrected, but it was single-mindedly set on avenging the woman. Afterwards, it gently licked the woman's hand. Suddenly, a red light appeared. The fox entered the woman's body. The woman suddenly woke up the next second, and even carried the foxy's seductive aura. But the memories of her previous life were still vivid, so the woman decided to take revenge. The first step was to steal the person the scheming woman loved most, so she pretended to be captured by mountain bandits, timing it perfectly for the man to appear, and orchestrated a scene of the hero rescuing the beauty. At this time, the man asked where her home was. She said with a pitiful look, this life was saved by the man. She was willing to spend the rest of her days as his servant. Just like that, she successfully entered the general's estate. When the scheming woman heard the general had brought back another woman, she immediately became alert and ran over to confront them face to face. The general explained he had only saved a homeless person and brought her back to be a maidservant. The scheming woman, hearing she was a maidservant, let down her guard, but never imagined that night at the general's victory banquet, a beautiful dance from behind a screen captivated the entire hall. The woman lightly danced towards the general, then intentionally fell into the general's arms. As they gazed at each other, the general felt she seemed a bit familiar. It turned out 3 years ago, the woman had chanced upon the injured man and kind-heartedly stepped forward to help treat him while she went to fetch water. But at that time, the scheming woman secretly saw the general's jade pendant. Recognizing he was the general, for the sake of wealth and glory, the scheming woman stole the woman's life-saving grace, and as she wished became the general's fiancée. But now the woman still couldn't reveal the truth. She only used a bit of seduction, and the general was unwittingly enchanted. The scheming woman angrily pushed the woman down, but when the scheming woman turned her head for a moment, she was instantly startled. Upon second thought, the woman had long since been thrown into the mass grave and couldn't possibly still be alive, but the similar face still enraged her, so she picked up a knife intending to disfigure the woman. In the struggle, the woman's arm was cut. The scheming woman still wanted to continue at this time, but was stopped by the general. Afterwards, the general helped the woman up and left, after returning to the room and applying medicine for the woman. Just as he was about to leave, he was grabbed by the woman. When the atmosphere between the two was just right, the scheming woman suddenly charged in, slapping the woman, then questioning how the general could do this with the wedding imminent. At this time, the general felt guilty and admitted his mistake, but the scheming woman pushed all the blame onto the woman, insisting on driving her out of the estate. The woman, hearing this, panicked. Afterwards, she begged the general not to drive her away. At this time, the general proposed a compromise, allowing the woman to live in the servants' quarters and not walk around casually, so the scheming woman had no choice but to agree. The next day, when the general was sword training, the woman helped him don his robe. The general, seeing her have an agenda, directly asked her. The woman softly said she just wanted to look at him more. The general expressed he had already promised the scheming woman not to take concubines and told her to give up, but the woman suddenly said she wanted to make a bet. Although the general was puzzled, he still agreed. All of this was seen by the scheming woman's old maidservant.